Hello all my dear friends. Today we will discuss the various parts of the flower which are also known as the whorls of the flower, WHORLS. Okay, so let's start. So there are four parts in a flower. That's the first one is the calyx, second is the corolla, third is the androecium, and fourth is the gynoecium. So let's start discussing that what are these four parts. The calyx are the sepals. One sepal, we call it singular as sepal, but as there are many sepals, so we say that this is the calyx, whose one part is the sepal. And similarly, group of petals is known as corolla. One single is known as petal and group is known as corolla. Okay. And that's the androecium. That's the androecium. Androecium is the male part of the flower, and in androecium we find the stamen. One single stamen is known as stamen and group of stamens is known as androecium. Okay. Similarly, in case of the carpel, or we can say it as pistil, it is the female part of the flower, and a group of pistils is known as gymnosium. Okay, so that's the gymnosium. And we can observe that as there are many petals which are free, so the hibiscus is polypetalous flower. Means here the petals are not fused, they are free. Okay, so now we are taking the case of the sepals. Here you can observe that the sepals are not free, they are attached. Okay, and if we will remove one sepal, then it could harm the other sepals. So the hibiscus is gamosepalous flower. Okay, because here the sepals are fused. And here you can also observe that there are some leaf-like appendages which are under. One second, the camera is not. Okay, so here you can observe some leaf-like appendages which are under these sepals. So sometimes we misunderstand them as the leaves or sepals, but that's not so. These are the bracts. Bracts means leaf-like appendages. So in case of a leaf, these bracts are known as stipules, but in case of a flower, we call them as bracts. The hibiscus is a bracteate flower because it contains these bracts. If a flower doesn't contain such leaf-like appendages, then it is known as ebracteate flower. Okay, so we discussed about the calyx, about the corolla. Okay, so now let's talk about the symmetry in these flowers. So see, here you can observe that one petal is overlapping the next one. Is it visible to you? See, one petal is overlapping the other petal and it is overlapped by the petal on this side. This is itself overlapping this petal and is overlapped by this on this side. Then see, this is overlapping this one, this is overlapping this one, this is overlapping this one, and this is overlapping this one, and this is overlapping this one. So there is a definite pattern in which the petals are overlapping one another. So this type of aestivation is known as twisted aestivation. Okay, so now you might be wondering that what is aestivation? So aestivation is the mode of arrangement of the petals or sepals in a floral bud. Okay, so that's the twisted aestivation. Is it clear? So let's talk about the androecium now. Okay, we discussed about the calyx, we discussed about the corolla. So let's talk about the male part, that is the, once again, that is the androecium. Okay, so here you could observe that the stamens, these are the stamens. I am removing one for you, 1 second. Yes, that's the. So, see, I had removed this one. So this tube-like part, which you are observing, this part is known as the filament, and that's the part which you are seeing. This is the filament, now tube-like string which is attaching these pollen grains to the you could say carpel. Okay, so these kidney beans shaped structures are known as anther and this tube-like structure is known as the filament. Okay, now it's visible now. Okay, so and you could observe that all the stamen consists of the anther and the filament. So all the stamens are here organized in a bunch. There is a single bundle in which they are organized. That's not so that they are organized in two groups or multiple groups. So there is a single bundle. So hibiscus is an example of monoadelphous flower. Monoadelphous means, mono means single, adelphous means one bundle of the stamen. Okay, so here in the case of the hibiscus, the carpel is multicarpellary. Means there are many carpels. You could observe that, see, here is the one stigma. 1 second. See, here is the one stigma. Here is the one stigma. That's the second one. That's the third one, that's the fourth one, and that's the fifth one. So there are so many stigmas. Okay, 5 stigmas, and they are, you could observe, 1 second, see, the stigmas are free in the upper side and then they are fused to form a single tube ending in the ovary. That's so now. So from here we could observe that hibiscus has multicarpellary syncarpous flower. Okay, so hibiscus is an example of syncarpous flower where the carpels are fused. Okay, if a flower doesn't have fused carpels, then it is known as apocarpus. Okay, and I will show you the example of a rose which is apocarpus. I had removed its petals. It was a white rose. See, okay, but hibiscus is an example of syncarpous flower because here the carpels are fused.
That's all, but don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.